This 5 days forum is actually very informative for all kinds of people, no matter who you are, what age you are, what background you are, what industry you are, actually suitable for all of us. Okay, and also very, very important for us to know and gain the knowledge from all these experts. All right. Yeah, thank you so much to all our speakers, okay, for this presentation. So this is the end of our presentation. So moving on, we will have the session is the discussion session, okay, with questions, okay, 4 questions. For all our friends in this Facebook, okay, so please feel free to type your question. If let's say you have any question in any topics that our speaker just shared just now, all right, please type your questions in the comment box and then our speakers will answer you. But if let's say we are out of time, no worries. Our organizer will answer you after that. Okay, please feel free to give us a comment and also the question that you would like to clarify from us. Okay, all right. So all our speakers. Okay, now let us start our discussion session. Yeah. Okay. First question. Compared with the developed countries, what kind of welfare policy should Malaysia have? Where do the resources come from? Here you go.
One, the policies can come from the government. The government could create whatever policies to safeguard, and due to their budget and all that, they could allocate certain fixed sum for these projects to carry on. The other one is by private sector, where they can come up with some funds, or the people who are in the aging as well can come up with a fund to sustain themselves and to encourage in their businesses. Yeah.
Okay, I think I want to add on this question on what kind of welfare policy should Malaysia have. Currently, most of the welfare that we have, the government just provide financial assistance like bantuan orang tua by KPWKM, Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita. So they give about I think 300 per month for this older person. So what we think should be done is we should have a productive welfare approach. We give assistance, but in the same time we want them to be productive. So in rancangan Malaysia 11 ke-11 RMK 11, so we want to have active aging, active older person. So this is one way that we could do by providing by introducing productive welfare approach. At a minimum, social welfare policies should protect individuals from poverty and relative deprivation. And this productive welfare approach is a form of effort that target recipients of welfare assistance so that they can continue to live independently through learning various life skills or survival skills, so as not to depend on government assistance forever. So it was first implemented in 2010 to reduce the dependence syndrome on government assistance. Okay, government assistance. So, but this approach will strongly emphasize the empowerment of recipients to be more motivated and confident in acquiring skills training that is appropriate to their ability. So, I think just now Mr. Habibullah had mentioned about Grab drivers. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is one of the approach that we could do for that welfare policy. That's all from me. And these are what, if I may add a bit, this productive welfare approach, it has been used widely in Western countries to help the poor to be independent and without by depending too much on the government's aid. Okay.
I just share my 2 cents. The resources should be from the taxes, income tax from the countrymen, because every one of us will grow old one day. So increasing tax will and have a good planning, transparent planning for all the people to know where are the tax collected going to, and going to different welfares will be I think will be on the is the right step to go. If you're not increasing taxes, then probably at the present situation, Malaysia won't be able to upgrade the welfare for elderlies. There are lots of elderlies. Welfare is not only for food, for shelter. It can be for disaster, and also for illness, mental health, a lot of mental health, dementia. These are the things that we neglected always in Malaysia. Disability uh, is definite to happen at the later age of us. Every one of us will get some sort of disability, will become disabled person when we are old and we become frail. We should keep this in mind. And also, it's not only the government, as we have mentioned, the private sector, and not only private sector or rich men, rich people, the different stages of government, up to your local council, up to your municipal council, should provide different types of welfare, like library, free books, free access, and also your discount for buses, for transport. All these are welfares. It's not only to food and shelter. We have to. That's why I mentioned it has to be from top to bottom, a very detailed, and break into small and with careful planning into every sector of elderly lifestyles. It has to be taken care of different levels of government and also private sectors. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Of course, I will talk about area that are familiar to the healthcare financing or health financing system. I would like to highlight two issues that have to pay very serious about it. One is the free market that most of the capitalist country, even like Malaysia, is adopting too. There are some sort of the intervention the government have to put in rather than completely leave it to, for the free market, pushing for private sector to champion for all the industry, especially particularly the healthcare services. So I found if this is continues on, the situation is become difficult to manage, especially on the cost side. So the government have to come to the picture to intervene, cannot let it a complete in free market. Second thing is that also something to do have to, I think the government have to put effort as well to make more cost saving, especially for old age and also for healthcare financing as well. I think yesterday we have been told that like in Japan, that is a long-term healthcare insurance that everybody have to contribute for that. Yeah. So we do have this thing in Malaysia. Australia have it. Yeah, like what Johnny said. So and furthermore, if you look at let's say I look at the retirement issue rather than financing issue, health financing issue, our contribution to old age through our EPF is relatively small. If we compare to Singapore, the contribution is far higher. It's not mistaken like employee contribute to 20% if they're before age 50 and company like contribute 70%. It's over about 31%. Yeah. So and when you have a small cost saving, chances that people will spend more money because lifespan in our financial planning industry, lifespan is equal to your income paid back home minus your tax minus your fixed saving. So once you pay tax, once pay your fixed saving, you wouldn't know how you save, how you spend the money. You may see, oh, nice house, you buy car, nice house, everything you're going to buy. Yeah. So this is something that sometimes government has to come in. because not everybody have a good habit for saving, put it this way. So this is something have to do, and of course, who can do well is the government. Government have to form up this policy. Okay, that's what I can comment.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure, Dr. Hayati.
Yeah, yeah. If I see what Johnny here has highlighted, that it should be top-down approach, and what Gavin has said, that there should be a control of the free market from the government. Yeah. So I'm talking about the cooperative sector, which is in the middle. The cooperative sector is the self-help organization for the members. So what we need here for the cooperative is expect the government to give the favorable legal framework support, supportive public policies, and also if we can take example in Quebec, Canada, you see how the government actually assists the cooperative movement there by giving even they fund regional development cooperatives to support cooperatives development in terms of legal advice, business advice, and networking advice, even financial advice. Yeah. And then the government also have special financial structures favorable to collective enterprises such as cooperatives and non-profit association. Whereas in Malaysia here, the legal framework is not so favorable for cooperatives to expand the business, beyond the old type of structure. So, of course, recently the bill to amend the law has been passed, but I'm not very sure how favorable it is for the cooperative to survive and contribute fully for the benefit of the members in terms of encouraging the cooperative to venture into new kind of business, such as Habibullah has mentioned just now, realizing the potential of what the latest economic models, such as sharing economy, or even utilizing the latest technology. Things like that should happen in cooperative in order for the cooperative to be able to contribute fully for the betterment of the members. Yeah, it should come from the government. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I
Okay,
add something?
Okay.
Sure.
Dr.
Cecilia?
Sorry. Do you want to go first, Habibullah?
You go first. You go first.
Okay. I think this is a great example, the platform here, all of us together, coming together from really very diversified background. We have, people from finance, from the law, we have from research background and all that, coming to give ideas from different lenses, from different background that would enrich the whole ecosystem of the providing services to the aging population in Malaysia. And yes, we do hear about that we now have this national policy in Malaysia for the older Malaysians. And now everybody is talking about aging in place. Because that's the preference of the older people all over the world. And also United Nations and WHO is actually supporting aging in place. And our services and our policies are all geared towards that. And Malaysia also follows suit, and we are talking about trying to encourage positive aging, so positive and successful aging and all that. But we don't really have a very detailed policy to support that. What do we mean by encouraging them to be healthy, encouraging them to be successful, to age successfully? How do we assure that? So this is a platform, and I'm so excited that here today I learned a lot of things myself, about the etc., and about cooperative world and all that. This is wonderful that we can learn from each other. And this is an example. If the government wants to do this, people from all over, from students, academicians, even people from the infrastructure, housing, transport, education, human resource coming together and to plan a very diversified ecosystem. It's not just one. How we want to talk to them about encouraging lifelong learning. How do we then encourage them? Then we talk about how do we finance it? We bring people like Gavin, etc., to come together. And I think this is a perfect example, a mini one that we can actually think about, incorporating people from all sorts of background to kind of plan ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Not long ago, I think there was this Silver Economy Forum. United Nations came up with the paper on silver economy. To me, is a very motivational, encouraging, because it says that just like before, if you don't do women's and children's business, you are not a good businessman. So today, if we don't plan for the silver economy, I think we are not a good visionary businessman. To me, I think the best policy is not to give us money. We don't want the money. What we want is to have a policies that facilitate. Because I've been in this building, this property development industry for 40 years. I sat in the government side, I sat in the consultant side, I sat in the contractor side, but I spend most of the time in the development sides. So if the government can give very fast approval, our dream homes took 2.5 years to get approval to get the KM, so-called the development order. 2003, I went to China. It took me 2 weeks to get DO for a few hundred acres of land. 2 weeks. All the city, all the departments together with the bank, even the banker, the license issuer, came, 22 of them, department, one meeting, sort out all the requirement, said you must fulfill, and you fulfill, I give you the approval 2 weeks. So in Malaysia, what we need is that for silver economy, of course you can say what qualified, what doesn't qualify. But to me, I think at least 1,000 trades and services will qualify because it's integrative, healthcare, wellness, aged care, financing, blah, 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 in together, the whole thing. So we can frame it up, and we want a one-stop, really one-stop. Our recent one-stop getting the KM approval is 60 stops. Really true. Again and again and again. And it's time is money. And we are really, we need that kind of policies. And also the policies, we don't need, you give us money, no use one. You must give us that policy says that, okay, like cooperative, 5 years you don't pay tax one, no. If our cooperative copies make money, 5 years, no. But for this aging population, for the sake of the elders, you can see, but just now I saw Kelvin's graph, the cost, medical cost is so much, So we must have these facilities that developers make the profit, must give it back to the consumers, the seniors. And what happens is that once you establish the base, the foundation is there, then we can, because not only this part you give incentives, but other trades you still tax them lah. It's just like a different genting. That genting is making people gamble, but here no gamble. You sure grow old one. One day we say that 总有一天等到你. Surely one day I wait until you come. Sure, everyone will age one. Those people who put up, protest saying that, we don't welcome aged people. What happened? 20 years later, they will age. I still remember I was 10 years old. An old man told me when I was looking at him, peeling up his hair, his orange, his hand was shaking. I saw him. I just looked at him. He said, young boy, I'm now 70. Very fast, tomorrow you'll be 70. So I'm almost there already, just like yesterday. So here, what we need is the policies, incentive policy, training incentives, and so on. That details we can work out because we are creative people. We have dreams, we have the people, we have the skills, we have the talents, we have the passion, we have the commitment. What we need is that policy to free up the resources to allow us to have the creative financial package. Like in Singapore, people can do tokenized assets. Imagine if your house, that you have 2 or 3 houses, you are aging already. I can help you to monetize it, and whatever monetize, it can be used towards your, whatever insurance, medical, or you want to come and stay in dream homes. So these policies and fractionalizing the assets so that many people can invest, because now people still thinking that invest in aged care is like invest in property. That is, it's like blocking up all the resources, like the river don't flow lah. Whenever we do a project, we talk about cash flow. The flow of the resources is where the money is. So we need the government to really look into this policy, and we need the people who are experts in it. We don't need just policy people with ideas on it, or just working in conceptual or in the university alone. I'm not belittling them, okay? They are very important, but we got to work together with people who are in the industry, who are at the receiving end. So we have to be very close. That's why we have to think of saving up. All this thing is going to the benefits, to benefit the consumers, to benefit the people. That's why our 3P.
Can I share with you, Habibullah?
Okay. Yeah.
Can I share with you I listened to you talking about this investment in dream homes, like things like dream homes is like investment in properties. Yes, it requires a lot of money, and also Cecilia's slides show us there are people objecting that you set out residential home in their area. My feeling is there's another way of going around it. You don't buy property. You don't set out hardware. You go for software. Integrated care. We all know that the trend is going to integrated care in aging population. Now, the older people that tend to age in place. Age in place means they prefer to stay in their own home. So if you're asking Asian valued people, the old people, to come out to live in your dream home, they will be reluctant. It's very difficult to change their mind. We find that. Now, we go to their house. This is the Singaporean model, I think, because they lack of land, so they don't build a lot of residential area, but they offer services, integrated care services, a teamwork to go into every aging population's home to offer our service, to bring nurses to your home. Because a lot of people, I did palliative care research before. I find that a lot of people, no matter Australians or Asians, they want to die at their own bed. They want to die in their home. Okay, so we bring our care to your home with alignment of services. Maybe you can go into this way. You build out a teamwork of different services, different case for this silver generation. Then you may not require a lot of permits from the government, a lot of grumbles from the local community. It's faster that way. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much. So now maybe we move on to the question number 2. Okay, so question number 2. In one's life financial planning, what proportion should be given to the golden years?
Sounds that I cannot run away from this answering this question. Yeah. Okay. Before that, I need to improve my statement of my slide. The point that I highlighted in my slide. Just now, you guys noticed that the market survey of medical inflation about 30%. But I say the inflation rates on average since 2008 is 7.2%. But let me tell you, the 7.2% is the demand inflation rates based on socio-economic situations. Demographic transition cause the demand for that. So But on the supply demand, there is a supply demand because that it could be due to some standard, some preference on the private healthcare system change, whatever. During my postgraduate research, I do a regression, is additional 4%. So if I could add 7.2 plus my the supply inflation 4%, it's about 11%. It's closer to 13%. So that is the reality. That means our medical inflation in Malaysia is double digit now. Yeah. So coming back to I think this second question, can I share the slide because I prepared for that? It's easy for me to do so. Yeah. Uh, all right. So I have prepared for that. Okay, this is the what you can guys see. How much you should save. Let's look at the what happening in Malaysia first. And we look at the conservative approach. Because as you know, bank want to squeeze your money. Of course, they try to make more money from your pocket. So let's look at the conservative, the minimum level that we can get the loan or things like that to justify how much our saving, rather than we just simply park on the sky, of the budget that we can set aside for our retirement saving. So let's look at the gross income, presuming it's 100%. It could be 100,000, 200,000, or even 50,000 income back home per year. Yeah, per year. So in Malaysia, our tax is relatively high. Yeah, if you understand our tax is above 100,000, it starts become 20% up to 26%, and it's higher than some our neighboring country like Singapore and even compared to Hong Kong. So just now Johnny said that if you're going to use the tax structure to fund for certain things, I have a doubt in Malaysia's situation because the tax itself only took out so much money from our own pocket. So it's going to increase tax. I think that will be a trouble to us. So if you look at the tax and the EPF is 11% in Malaysia. So I'm presuming tax about 14% for a person like 100,000 income. So it's close to 25%. So 100,000 minus 25% is you will have a disposable income 75%. Take back home income. Yeah. So and if you understand how bank evaluate your loan, usually they will only take 70-80% for the consideration. They assume 20 to 30% is your personal expenses, like you buy clothing, your transport, your food, and things like that. Yeah. So we minus 30% out. Yeah. We look at the lower 70% rather than those banks are very, very aggressive, take 80% of that. We look at the conservative level, 30%. So only 30% is actually, 30% set for personal expenses. So we minus out 30%, 75 minus 30%, we have 45%. So if you understand the mortgage application very well, they have this called DSR, debt serving ratio, for fixed commitment. The fixed commitment come from your car, come from your house. And some very aggressive banks take up to 80%, 70 to 80%. A very conservative lender, they will take about 50, 60%. So let's take 60%, right? So if you take, you take 60% up, yeah, presuming 60% is for commitment, that means car and house. So which is equivalent 60 or 45 is equivalent to 27%. Yeah, you pay for car. But most of the time, we spend more than 27% of our income for mortgage and car. If you look up there, today people buy a big car, a good car. Yeah, so it's different. People are chasing for something better in their life. Yeah, even talking about health financing, people talking about care. They are not talking about cure. The cure is no longer important. Care is more important. So they rather pay more money for care. Yeah. So same thing. Come to our other personal expenses. So in general, we have extra saving about probably 18% for this way. But out of 8%, you must set about 10% for contingency. It could be due some urgent needs, you want to buy or for clinical care or for whatsoever. Yeah. And a long-term care, perhaps a person can only save 8%, which is very low in Malaysia. Yeah, I look at that, it's very, very critical. So we are, especially our property price is very high now. Yeah. So if you look at that, it's 8%, the green color here, 8% plus your EPF 11%, which is equivalent to 19%. But you squeeze a bit, how this 18% you can plus with 11% is equivalent to 29%, which is still lower to the Singaporeans, their CPF contribution 20 plus 70 is 30%. Yeah, but of course on their own, out of their pocket is 20% for their CPF. Yeah, perhaps they have a very good saving. I understand because I've got many friends, even a client in Singapore, they have a very good saving rate. But I've seen Malaysian, because I personally involved in financial planning consultation, I look at the cash flow, I look at the net worth. To be honest, there are many Malaysians are really just surviving. To be honest with you, nothing great. But of course, there are some exceptional cases. So something has to do here. If we're talking about financial planning point of view, we have to squeeze somewhere from here. Yeah. So either you reduce your fixed commitment or you reduce your lifestyle. This is something we can just do, because as I say, lifestyle today, everybody is talking lifestyle. People are no longer talking basic needs. Not our parents. Yeah, or today baby boomer. I can see still looking for a basic what do you call it, spend for those are necessary things. Yeah, but today more and more youngsters chasing for lifestyle. A lifestyle is equivalent to a gross income minus the tax, because you know well how much you pay tax. Yeah, every year, and minus your fixed saving. Your fixed saving could become for your EPF, could become for your insurance, could become from some regular saving that you put that you invest into some like unit trust and so forth. So that will give you amount of money that for you to spend, and we want to know where the money goes. I think many of the young people, even us, sometimes we want to know where our money goes. Yeah, so that is called lifestyle. So if you look at the figure, it's actually not fantastic or not encouraging or not attractive. I would say that 11 to 29% is a bit low. Yeah, so that is what my own analysis. Of course, when a person want to have certain retirement lifestyle, for me, I have to recalculate how much you can afford. I usually advise people to reduce certain expenses and things like that. So that's an issue that I think more or less Malaysians are facing now. Yeah, that's what I can share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so next question to all our discussor. All right. Oh, why?
Can I just touch on Kelvin's, just follow up a little bit, just one point only.
Go ahead, yeah, Mr. Habibullah.
So I think I think Kelvin has provided a very good framework. What is necessary is to start at a very young age. The younger it is, the easier. But this one we call financial literacy. We need to educate them when they are young. Very better to go into like a extra curriculum to get them the habit of saving for golden years. And then I think only that is able to and then what we call have legislation to enforce it, and in the software generally. But his calculation, I think, is very, very accurate. We should start young.
Thank you so much. All right, so now let us move on to question number 3. Okay, why advocate the use of sharing economy model in the happy aging industry? So everyone, any ideas?
Okay, Johnny just now talking about home care services, which we already included in our scope. If we in an area of like Cyberjaya, we beside having this 4H and the integrated healthcare wellness aged care models, we would be able to serve the radius of maybe 15 to even 30 kilometers, where we would have a hospital and the integrated the care center where we do diagnostic and preventive healthcare. And this needs equipment. And like hospital, you need to have the like geriatric hospitals. In Malaysia, I think in Klang Valley only two geriatric hospitals. And these are the developing, because we would not be able to cope with the rising population. Probably in Australia, you have already got a well-established medical facilities. In Malaysia, here, what is needed is, beside having the home care, because some people do need to be checked into healthcare, aged care center, because you need the 24-hour assisted living, home care. Even if just with 2% of our elderly check into aged care, if we serve 2%, we need 82,000 units. We already done the calculation, taking into consideration of couple and single and so on. So it's a huge number that we are talking about. We need this kind of facilities. Yeah, but what Johnny said is very true. We should be able to serve the elderly population, through home care services. And your question of this sharing economy just now I'm talking about is, we have to foresee the demand, the crisis if we don't prepare now. And of course, policies is one aspect, but the other is also facilities. Beside the services, the physical space, we need to start building. And also another way is that to have the policies like previously, every big housing scheme, you need to provide 5% or 10% for low cost. But in future, probably we have to have 5% or 10% elderly friendly units, meaning to say the toilet has to be handicap friendly, wheelchair friendly, and circulation area and so on, steps and so on. So those are the policy that necessity to consider. And as I mentioned, just like if we have not invented ways, we do not have this Google map, how do we travel today? So every problem that comes, there will be solution, because God not only allowed problems to happen, but He gave us this wisdom or this vision to solve the problems. And I believe with human creativity, with cooperation, collectiveness, we can overcome it. Thank you.
I would like to add something to that. I absolutely agree with Mr. Habibullah on this matter, that we definitely need in place a policy that supports whatever services that we want to provide for the elderly, whether it's supporting aging in place or providing whatever services and facilities to those who may need it. So it's a big spectrum, a very diverse spectrum. Like I said earlier, we are not the same. All people are not the same. It's very different. It's very diversified. It's not homogeneous. It's heterogeneous. So to understand their needs and to meet their needs, to understand what they want, and to meet it is building an integrated kind of approach, like a social inclusion, rather than to exclude them, put them away, not to be seen, but to treat it as part of the population. Like in Singapore, like the policy, when we want to plan a residential area, we have an age-friendly facility, some of the homes, how many units, yes. On top of that, we also have hub. An aging hub in the HDB flats, all the HDB flats, they have an aging hubs where the seniors come and do their activities. They come and do their recreational, where they can do their voluntary work. They can come and exercise. And it's also where the nurses go there and monitor them. We are talking about now healthy aging. How do we promote it? One of this is to bring in such approach system that we actually can monitor, that we collect data and we monitor them, and we measure them after a period of time and see whether there's improvement. If we can't measure it, it's no point having a policy, no point having a project where we can't measure and see whether it's effective or not. That's what I like to add. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Peyu, I think I want to add something on what Mr. Habibullah mentioned earlier about the inclusion, social inclusion, and there is one. We are talking about age-friendly city, not aged-friendly city, but age-friendly city. That means it's suitable, the environment suitable for all group of ages. And when we talk about age-friendly cities and communities, they are not talking on about the infrastructure. In age-friendly city, they look into three main domains. One is the, of course, the built environment that include housing, transportation, outdoor spaces and buildings. But the other two important domain is on the social environment, where we look into social participation, respect and social inclusion of all ages, as well as civic participation and employment. And another one is community and health support. This is what Dr. Cecilia mentioned just now. How the community support the health services, and how the communication and information dissemination is very important among the community. So these are the three domains when we are constructing these age-friendly cities and community. And actually, Taiping, they are moving towards. They want to develop. To become age-friendly city in Malaysia, first age-friendly city in Malaysia. So that's all. What I would like to share.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siti, yeah, for your sharing. All right, for this question. Okay, so I also know that actually, Dr. Siti, you have certain that I mean that you have some further arrangement. Okay, so that maybe you need to leave for this forum first, right? Yeah.
Yes, I
So
need to look early.
Dr. Siti, okay, for to joining us in this day 2 forum. All right, so let's say bye bye to Dr. Siti. Thank you so
Good
much.
night. Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Nice meeting all of
Good
you
night.
tonight. Okay, great
Thank
sharing
you.
session. Thank okay, bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so now let us to move on to the question number 4. Okay, so for this question, it is means okay, who had paid attention and done something to the spiritual needs to the elderly? Any comment?
This part here,
Okay.
as I mentioned earlier on, the wellness, not only physical wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, of course, the other part, financial and environmental and so on, social wellness. One of the thing often neglected is the spiritual needs. In Malaysia, we are multiracial, multi beliefs and so on. It's like the garden. You have all kind of flowers, like the forest. So the ecosystem, not only the physical amenities and services, but it's the bouquet of flowers that consisted of different colors and so on. And actually, our God is a loving God, loves all His creation. And I believe if with this kind of what we call the perception or the perspective to serve everyone as equal, we look beyond that physical appearance or something earthly, but go direct into the spirits of the individuals with compassion and joy and love. What our brother Tan Chor Lam has mentioned. When I met him first night, first time he spoke to me, his enthusiasm and what he has spoken, his enthusiasm last night, same, never diminished, even getting more and more to me intense. So if with that kind of love and compassion for all creation, what more our brothers and sisters of the same country, we share the same environment as what Dr. Hayati said. We are a multiracial, multi-religious country. And this is the final part of our golden years. Whatever happened in the past, whatever things we have gone through, finally we come to this place, this golden years. And a lot of things we have learned how to forgive and forget and let bygone be bygone, or we learn from mistakes. And that's why we say the aging people are actually like a very precious gem. They're buried. And what we need is to take it out and polish it. And we can provide the environment. We don't need to do the polishing. They're self-polishing. Because what's important is an environment where that is supportive, that is forgiving. That vibration itself, we don't need to say, we walk into that environment, you'll feel something is different. Even the vegetation will look different. Believe me, this is what I believe we are going into that kind of opportunity that we will not only provide a hub, we call the Golden Aging Hub, or whatever we call it, not for Malaysia alone, but for ASEAN countries, or even, as I mentioned, for the whole RCEP 2.2 billion community. It's possible that even the Western people also some Western people also find this place attractive, and have that vision that we have this opportunity because we are multiracial. We make use of this diversity to have the inclusive, culture and share the common values that we have. I think this is something that we will be able to do very well.
I think if you go into elderly care, spiritual needs, fulfillment is part of your job. It's part of the responsibility. Spiritual needs are not specifically for religion. It is actually the needs and expectations of human being, the meaning and purpose of life. So when we are frail, when we enter old age, we have more time to think about what we have achieved and reflect. And that will push us to think about what is the meaning of our life. So spiritual needs in this sense, I'm not talking because I'm a Christian or a pastor. I think everyone at one stage, especially at this final sunset stage of their lives, they will start to think what is the purpose and the meaning and the value of your life. So you have to satisfy them if you want to provide all this care for them, because it's part of them. They will reflect it every day. Some people, so you have to take the cues from them. So you know how to tell them. You might put on posters with encouraging words to them, or if they are not Christians or Muslims, so they're not prompt to read Bibles or Quran, but you can have quotations to make them think, and you have to support them, support their when they are down with low emotion. Every one of us will have some will experience stages like that. You have to reinstill their faith and to their life, motivate them, encourage them. So a team of supporting spiritual care is very important. The question really tells us that we should not ignore this part of human life. It's very important. We are not animals. We are human beings. So there is a purpose and meaning of life to each one of us. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to what these two gentlemen has shared. Because Malaysia being unique, because we comes from a very diverse kind of background in terms of ethnicity, race, religion, and they are very unique that we are able to live harmoniously with each other, respecting each other's belief and all that. And being one thing that the common thing that we have in us, despite of our differences, is we will age. And as we age, we will face some challenges. Definitely, there will be elements of loss. We will lose our loved ones. We will lose abilities and all that. And one of the way that important to the Malaysian culture in coping with the challenges and issues in aging is having the spiritual resilient. Okay, to have the meaning that there is some higher power or there's something bigger that I can rely on. Not necessarily it has got to do with religion. I think spirituality and religion are two different aspects altogether. So it doesn't matter what religion we are. We believe in something that's bigger than ourselves, and having that, we feel a sense of security, comfort. It's comforting that we go through the challenges that we feel a sense of security. So it is a very important component that we should support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Cecilia. All right. So once again, thank you so much for all our these presenters and our discussers. Okay, in this presentation session and also the discussion session. Okay, so now we would like to call it a day. Okay, for our this day 2 forum. Okay, thank you once again to all of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate.